Alrighty, here is one of the biggest beefers that's come around here. I just like saying big beefer. I don't know why. It's a thing that it's an affectation I picked up in the last couple of months. But one of the biggest ones to come across the table in a while, third party wise. Because you can see it just barely fits. You have to lift this up just a smidge to get, I can just barely squeeze all of them in frame here with the depth I've got on my table. He's a big boy. But yeah, here's his vehicle mode. He's got the treads all around, so it's pretty much the same. There's not a whole lot to it. It's a very basic tank tready vehicle. Lots of treads, lots of tank treads. In the front, on the side, or the back, on the front, the sides, and the back. There we go. I did it right properly, finally. Some armor. He's got some little missiles here. You can angle this however you want. It's on, well, I guess you can angle this within this range however you want. And these little missiles, you actually get a separate little baggie. They're separate pieces, and you can swap them out. Well, now I can't get my fingers in there to get them out. Where's the little baggie? Here it is. Because you've got the translucent kind of pinkish purple ones there. I guess they're more purple than pink. But you also get some solid silver ones. So it's entirely up to you how you want to swap those out. You can see they're just little like light bright peg type things. And I don't know why this one's not coming out. This one was falling out on me all the time when I was transforming them earlier. But your mileage may vary. You may need to get let's get a little tool here and see if we can't pop that up. There we go. Yeah, it doesn't take a lot of effort to get in there. You just got to get under that little ridge here to pop them up. Very easy to slide them right out. And you can swap in the silver ones. I'm just going to put two in to show you what they look like comparing to trash. Because I like the purple ones. I think they look a little better, all told. But just to give you an idea of silver or purple, whichever ones you want. Let's go ahead and pop those back out. The silver ones, probably because they're painted, stick in there a little better. So you need a little bit more leverage here. Try not to poke them. I'm trying to get out at them from the sides here to lift them up, but there we go. There we go. And then we'll put the purple ones back in. Come here. So yeah, there's the vehicle mode. His little blades spin, and what's cool is like there's 4 rows of blades in there, and they each spin individually. So it's pretty. Let me get up here. Well, see if I can get a good shot of how they all go. You can see like there's 1 row, then 2 rows, and 3 rows, and 4 rows. So we've got big spinny blades of doom there in what will be his chest. So yeah, there is his vehicle mode. I'm going to take a second and put these other missiles back in their little baggie before I fling them all over the floor. They just come in a little baggie like this. You also get some separate face pieces and a separate head that, but we'll show those off when we get to robot mode. I'll explain those. You also get the instruction manual / comic with the bio card per usual. And he's not a super difficult and you got these articulated arms. So you got the spinny rings, and you got articulated arms that can hinge back here, can swivel side to side, a hinge here, a rotational joint right here, another hinge right here. They can swivel at the claw, and then each claw is individually articulated. So they get pretty decent range of motion here on these arms. You can grab people from the side of him and just shove them right in this hole. Just make them get in there and eat them. Smelt them, chop them up, whatever. Put them in a stew. Potatoes. Anyway. There we go. So lift this piece up, point it straight up. You don't have to do that, but it's fun. Lift these kind of back here, and then start transforming him. So lift these up and untab them from the legs. You don't need to do that first, but it helps. Fold this up, and we'll deal with that in a little bit. Just kind of get that up out of the way. And then the treads down here, we will go ahead, kind of bring them down, or unpeg this piece from here It's pegged into the back here. These little beige pieces here. Untab those, and you can bring this whole assembly forward. Untab these, or go ahead and split the legs. Untab these silver pieces here, like that, and bring this down. And then this whole red assembly folds down. Make sure to bring this up, because this is going to go up out of the way. You just fold this down and angle it so that you push these back in, and instead of being pegged in here, they peg in up here to form the foot. So just peg that in up here. Same on the other side. Like that, just peg them in. Flip this up, flip out his toe on each foot, and then this piece you can kind of see where the angled bits on this piece are. You just kind of slide this up in there. It fits on this one a bit lower, but in between these two slots on the back of the leg, and bring that forward. And that's one leg more or less done. Make sure that you can see the toe tilt there, but we'll get to that in robot mode. Do the same on the other leg here. I'll bring this up. Untab these. Like that. Bring this down. Bring this down. Now, when you bring this down, the hole will be behind this, but that's normal because when it folds in, just as long as it folds in and pegs in, you're good to go. Like that. Flip this toe out. And then push this up into here. Bring this down. And that's essentially his legs done for the most part for right now. These panels right here, these big wedges, you pull out, this is tabbed in here. You pull this whole assembly, it's tabbed in back here and up here underneath, on the underside of this gap, like that. And you just pull the whole thing out and rotate it around, and then bring it up and tab it right up here to the shoulder. And same on this side. Pull this out, up, rotate it, and then tab it in right there. You can, if you want, go ahead and turn the waist around. Get this down like that, and then rotate his legs around at the thigh swivel. Also untab them. You can see this tab here tabs into the waist in vehicle mode to lock all that around. There we go. And at this point, I think we're going to go ahead and stand him up. So stand him up on his feet. You can see he's got some thigh swivel there. He's got the thigh swivel, but he also has kind of an angled bit there to kind of let him stand in a wider stance. The knee joints can move around. Fold out his kneecap here. Yeah. Which is tricky. There's a little tab there to get your finger on, but you have to have the clearance or it'll get stuck. And it can be a little bit of a pain here. There we go. There you go. Give him a kneecap. And same over here. You kind of want to bend this knee all the way back. Fold this down as far as you can so it's got the clearance in here. And then, that's the thumbnail. And then flip it up. There we go. You do it right. It's not as hard. Flatten his feet. Bring his legs forward. See how it's coming together. Then we'll come up here to the upper body. Wow, still a lot. But I'm going to turn this around so I can get up high on the upper body. There we go. And on the back here, this is going to go up and around here. You can, if you want to, go ahead and fold this around, because this is going to end up sitting like this in robot mode. But leave that folded down. He has an ab crunch here, so tilt him forward just a bit, and then the arms right here. I guess this is what I was talking about. This is going to sit like this in robot mode. But you just unpeg the arms. You can see the tabs they're on right there, and you just bring them out and rotate them around to the front. At which point, at this point, you can go ahead and this is how it's sat in vehicle mode. You kind of lift it up, rotate it around. There's a tab here. You just kind of tab it up like that onto the back of the waist. You can leave it hanging down, but when you got everything all settled in right, it won't get in the way of his waist articulation. But fold that up, bring this back down, and then this whole assembly right here. Go ahead and untab these treads from the wheel and bring them down like this. And then this wheel right here, fold up like that. And then this whole assembly, get the arms out of the way here. This whole assembly right here untabs, comes down onto his back like this, at which point rotate the wheel sideways, and then instead of pegging in up here, down here at the bottom of the tread, peg it onto that little gear slash wheel there to lock the whole backpack together. And then this missile launcher bit can fold forward, but we're gonna do that in a second after we get his robot head out. Yeah, you just gotta get this all lined up right. Yeah, you want to lean a little bit because, yeah, at least lean it back as far enough. There's a couple little tabs up here where these tab in up here, and that was what was causing the backpack to be able to loose because they come in just past this. So rotate this up just enough that those tabs aren't hitting it, and that'll lock that all together. You can fold that down, and you can see there's enough clearance here and movement here in the backpack that it doesn't actually this tab right here doesn't get in the way of his waist movement. Anyway, come back around to the front. You can kind of fold these back and position them however you want. At those hinges for the time being. Lift up this panel right here and flip out his head. Bring it down and then fold this missile launcher forward again over his shoulders, and there you have him in robot mode. He's got a ball joint at the head. Oh, no, these stay together. Rotating shoulders, hinges out. He's got a bicep swivel-ish kinda, just above the elbow, hinge elbow. He's got a ball joint wrist, although a little limited. He's got a ball joint thumb. And the fingers are individually articulated, I think. At least the first finger has 2 knuckles. All the other ones have 1, but they are all individually posable on the hands, which you couldn't really see that because of how tall this guy is. So we'll kind of have to move ourselves down as we do this. But yeah, all right, so ball joint at the hand, at the wrist, and then ball joint thumb, individually posable fingers. He has the aforementioned waist swivel, which again, backpack doesn't interfere with, which is nice. He's got the spinny blades in his chest. Rationing hips, both front to back and side to side. He's got the thigh swivel, as well as that aforementioned side to side hinge. Just a little bit, lets it bend in a little bit there, just above the knee. He's got dual hinge knees, rotating toe, and then a little bit of articulation there in the toe itself. But pretty sturdy when you get his feet flat on the ground. There's another feature. His face mask does pop off. You can see his face underneath there. And we'll get to some of the different things you can do with that. So there is his multiple eyes. Here, let's see if we can zoom out. There's what he looks like without his mask. And then you've got, you just kind of push this in. Because his eyes, yeah, as you can see, his eyes are spring-loaded. So you have to make sure this snaps in all the way. Because his eyes will spring launch the visor. There he is with his visor. They do give you an extra visor, just in case you lose it, but it looks to be the same one. It doesn't look any different from the one that comes stock on him. Although, again, let me get back out here. Yeah, just the regular old stock visor. But then you also get a backup head, and you might want to use this because, like I said, a little bit of bump. You can, if you don't push that all the way in, it's possible to knock that loose and have the visor go springing. You do get a second head where it's just there's no spring-loaded eyes. It's just the X. Now, and you just unscrew it back here. Unscrew it back here and pop it off the ball joint. Where is there we go. So if you want to swap it out. This one also comes with a separate visor. This one's just a backup visor for the one. In case you break it pulling it off. It doesn't, like I said, I don't see any visual differences between those two. This one has the standard X, and you get a transparent purple version with it. And this one, again, you want to be very careful. You just kind of get under it, just get down as close to the center as you can, and just kind of wiggle it gently, because if you pull too hard, you could end up snapping these things. But kind of coming loose. It takes a little bit of wiggling, but you can pop out the red X here, just like that. You see there's just a little peg there, so be very careful pulling those apart. And you can give him a purple X if you want. And then you can just put, and you see the head's a little wider, slightly different. We'll go ahead and change those out real quick. Pop him off, and then we'll go ahead and loosen this up. Usually on ball joints like this, I don't like to unscrew them all the way. I loosen them just enough so there's a gap so it snaps back onto the ball joint. But then you don't have to worry about losing a screw or popping it in half. Oh, I guess I didn't get that. There we go. Now it's on the ball joint. Tighten it back up. And there he is with the wider head with the purple visor. And again, you can swap out these missiles for the silver ones if you wish. Let's see if we can get this purple visor out. Put his red one back on to show you what that looks like. And like I said, the more, it's just a lot of wiggling. So actually I'm going to go ahead and pop his head off to do this. But you can see it is actually fairly easy to just unscrew these enough to get them off. This, you might be able to if you have a very thin peg. Maybe that goes all the way through. I don't know. But what's she doing? Let me see if that. No, it does appear to. I just held it up to the light. So let me use a small little push device here. See if we can't pop it out from behind. Oh, we can go a little thicker than that. Just using my little pin vise here to put a little head in. And yeah, just using my pin vise and poking it through here. Oh, okay. Actually, probably help if I turn that around so I'm not using the screwdriver end of it. Which probably isn't the best for the screwdriver, but it's what I got available. Nope, did not want to, like I said, I held it up to the light. You could clearly see the purple shining through there. All right, I'm gonna do this off camera, swap it out, and we'll be right back. And here we are. Of course, the second I got it off camera and just kind of grabbed it and wiggled it out, popped right out. I was literally off camera for maybe 10 seconds. Anyway. Come here. Get the screw back in there. And like I said, I don't like to take it all the way apart, so we'll go ahead and screw it back together just a smidge, just to keep it all together as we give it up onto the head. And then we'll pop his head back on and screw it together. Come on, there we go. And there he is with the red X on the secondary head. Now there are lots of size comparisons that we could do here, but you know, there's really only one that matters. Let me put these little pin vise bits away. Also, if you ever want to repair action figures, pin punch helps. I've got a little watch kit that also helps me pop out pins when I need to. But this little thing right here, I got it off Amazon. But in the it just holds little screw or drill. I'm saying screwdriver, drill bits, and it comes with a little tube of different size drill bits that stores in the handle. And this is great for a pin popped off or like a small part, like say I have this finger snapped right here, because I could take this drill bit, line this up, mark it where I need to, and just drill slightly into this, drill slightly into that where the hole matches up, and then I can use a small rod, like a small pin or a piece of metal, to slide into those holes when I glue it back together, and it just reinforces that joint with like a solid piece that runs through it. This thing has been invaluable in fixing things, and it was like $9 on Amazon, so get yourself a pin vise. Very helpful. Anyway, one size comparison that matters, and that, of course, is, if you read the comics, a little dude that we thankfully just got here in Earthrise, Flywheels, or Skytread, or whatever they call him. Because you can see his feet are, in fact, too big to go into that grinder, but it doesn't stop him from grabbing him and shoving him in there head first. So you just wrap those claws around him and bring them forward. Yeah, you can bring them all the way forward, get him in there. So you can get him. And the claws actually have a pretty decent gripping power. You can actually grab onto him and support him. Yep, see, there he is. There he goes, just right into his chest cavity to be grinded up. Oh no. Goodbye, Flywheels. Goodbye. So yeah, he's the right size to shove Flywheels into. And I think that tells you all you need to know about what a great job Mastermind Creations did with this big boy, R-44 reformatted TORTOR, the final member of their DJD. Very cool, very big.